All right, guys. Coach Ben here, and this is Bench Talk Live. See, I switched up our environment today. We're not in the gym, we are out by the smoker. I got 3 racks of ribs sitting on there, some pork ribs today, and figure we'll switch it up a little bit. Hopefully, this goes smoothly. First time doing Bench Talk Live out here. Probably have a little background noise, but let me know, guys, if it's too much. I'm excited to get into it. Might have some problems reading some questions. What's up, my friend? Thank you, everyone, joining in. Bench Talk Live. I'm pumped to get into it. I got some great questions from Instagram the other day that we're gonna get into, and let's get this show on the road. All right, I'm gonna jump into some cues. Drop your cues below. Bench Talk Live out by the smoker today. Say I got some pork spare ribs in there going right now. Costco did not have a brisket the other day, so I'm out of luck for that. Let's get some questions coming in. I'm going to answer one now from at the Hybrid Hillbilly. That's Matt. He's always dropping some great questions here in Bench Talk Live. And his question: do you squeeze your triceps with close grip bench? And from the surface, this question might seem like a very obvious answer. Of course, I squeeze my triceps. Close grip bench is majority triceps. But I'm sure what Matt is digging at here is what's like that technical focus. What do you kind of put in your mind into what kind of mind muscle connection type deal are you going for here? You got to think a little bit deeper on this question. So I think this was a really underrated question here. And what I do when I talk close grip benching, all right, with a close grip bench, typically, I'm going to have two different styles that I'm going to use with a close grip bench. I'm going to either do higher reps and focus on that tricep squeeze, focus on almost pressing away from myself. All right. That is going to put a huge emphasis on your triceps. And yes, that is when I really focus on that tricep squeeze, getting the squeeze at the top with the triceps. Almost like you're pressing away from yourself, like I said. So you're not coming back into groove. If I'm going to go heavy with a close grip and treat it like a max effort move or something I'm really trying to push weight on, then I'm going to treat it like my normal bench press. I'm going to try to stay in a groove that puts me back. I'm going to try to maximize my leverages to lift the most weight. But if I'm doing a higher rep variation, sometimes off of boards too, I'm going to focus on just using my triceps, right, and really trying to press away, almost like you'd get a skull crusher. I'm going to try to do that on the close grip bench. I'm going to be close enough where I can kind of just dig my tricep into my lat here, and then I can just squeeze the elbow through. All right. Matt says, yeah, I was thinking about that at the top, getting that extra squeeze at the end. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you probably won't get that as much if you are trying to maximize how much weight you can lift. And doing it this way is going to sacrifice some poundage because it's not super mechanically efficient. You're actually putting yourself more at a disadvantage. It's like a skull crusher. I mean, you're obviously not going to bench as much as you're going to skull crush. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not going to skull crush as much as you're going to bench. But you're going to get a much higher degree of activity in the triceps. So treating your close grip bench with more emphasis on the triceps, getting that push away, getting that extra squeeze at the end. Yeah, great way to put that emphasis on your triceps, and you're not miss that through just your standard bench pressing. You know what I'm saying? That was a great question, Matt. I know what you're getting at. But I'm sure most would kind of look at that and be like, of course you use your triceps, but it goes a little deeper than that. As when you're in a mechanically efficient position, you're just trying to maximize your leverages at that point, and you have more or less emphasis on the triceps. Don't matter. All right, guys, sip of coffee for the worker man. This is actually espresso. Can't even explain the aromas coming in here from the pit boss. This is a Pit Boss Pro Series 1100 got from Lowe's. Oh boy, you smell those pork spare ribbies going. They're gonna be good. I base one with some mustard. Then I put on some Cosmos Q's Killer Honey Chipotle Killer Bee rub. Give it a little kick. I also going to put the sauce on that one. It's a Carolina mustard sauce. And then on the other two, I use the layering of this mango or Mandarin habanero dry rub for the base, and then I put a bunch of Texas rub from Cosmos Q on the top. Going to be great. Going to be great. All right, guys, let's see. What do we got coming in here from Instagram? Now, Instagram ones are a little bit hard for me to read here, so we're jumping in and out. Logan Barbell PR'd my comp bench by 9.5 pounds last Wednesday. That's awesome, my friend. Love hearing PRs. Love hearing about PRs. How important are shoulders in the bench press? Well, pretty dang important. Just like if we're talking any muscle group, they all play a role. It can certainly be a weak point, especially if you have a bad overhead press in relation to your bench press. I mean, definitely something you're going to want to get up. I say shoulders matter a lot more for a raw bencher. And I gave this example the other week where my shoulder's still been really bad. I can't do any raw benching really right now. I certainly can't go heavy, as it'll destroy it. That'll feel bad the next day, and it hurts in the moment too. But in my shoulder bench, I mean, I took 750 the other week, and I didn't really have to think about my shoulder once. So I felt good and comforted there because the tension of the shirt really takes up a lot of that stability that would normally have to be created through the shoulders. So definitely as a raw lifter, there's a lot more to be said for shoulder strength. But if you're a shoulder bencher, I would focus mostly on back strength and tricep strength. Our raw lifters get more shoulder work, but our shoulder benchers definitely just getting primarily mostly back work, tricep work. Big Nate Husky, what's going on, my friend? What are your thoughts on slightly uneven grip on bench? For example, ring finger on ring on right side, a middle finger on ring on left side. I've seen schools of thought for and against. So that actually jumps into a great question we had from DFAM017, how to fix uneven press. And that would be one of the strategies, all right? First, I try to analyze why you might be getting an uneven press, what's going on in that respect. Is it something more like you just have to focus on proper back activation and pressing at the same time with a wide grip? That is going to be something that will usually take care of it, because with a wide grip, if one side fires a little sooner than the other, you're often going to come up uneven a little bit on one side versus the other. Okay, so it could just be a matter of that, and then the school correction on that would just be to have a better connection with your mind, pressing at the same time and working on that. And sometimes that'll take care of it. Other times, maybe it's a restriction where you can't retract as good on your right side. Um, maybe usually that's the case. Maybe you're a little bit tighter somewhere in that shoulder joint there on one side versus the other, and it's very limiting in your ability to retract, or you're doing it efficient on one side, not on the other, kind of deal. And with that, you want to have an idea how to correct that, what to work on to correct that. But in the moment, switching the grip up a bit will help even that out, because essentially you got one arm that's staying long, one arm that's retracted back. Okay, being able to switch your grips like that, like Big Nate Husky's talking about, that's definitely going to help put you in a more even position, which I say is valuable in the moment. But you want to know what to correct to get the effect you're looking for. You see that smoke coming out the pit boss. Smells great when those pellets hit. I got a blend of cherry pellets with the whiskey pellets there, whiskey barrel pellets. All right, guys. So hopefully that helps you out, Big Nate Husky. But I'm definitely for potentially moving one side out a little bit, as long as you're still within the standards of competition. You don't want to go wider an index on the ring. Still need a finger touching, but I think this was something that Jen Thompson posted about not too long ago. Now, I don't know if she just has anatomically has a longer arm or something, but that can certainly happen to people, especially with surgery. Some people can't really lock out on a arm that they had surgery on, bicep tendon surgery or something. They end up shortened and usually have to tell the judges that they can't fully lock out. In that scenario, it would help them to take the grip out a little more. I had a lifter; he had issue locking out one side, and we just switched his deadlift up because his deadlift with the grip the same on both sides. One side was coming up before the other, and then we just made the switch to take the other side out a little bit, and then it was smooth after that. So it would be the same type of correction here for the bench press. Let's see, what do we got coming in here? Stefan, we got a lot coming in. Thoughts on banded tricep pushdown daily to failure for lagging triceps? I'm totally cool with throwing in more tricep training in general, whether that's a banded pushdown or doing something else. The isolation type moves, back work, posterior chain work, glutes, hamstrings. Those are things like you never hear those really getting overtrained per se. Those are all things that are usually weak areas. The isolation work, we did a thing with our team like a couple months back where we trained arms every single day for the entire month, and people got amazing results. I didn't hear anyone really complain about having a huge sacrifice on their lifts during that time. Um, Probably come into some sessions pre-fatigued, but it's much more of a benefit, I'd say, to hit those movements. So I would definitely, if you're really lagging in the triceps, you want to get your arm strength up, hit it every day. Hit it every day. Nothing wrong with that. What do we got, Stefan? Great channel. Love your content. Hitting like all vids. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone joining us live here. I see some fresh pellets hitting the smoker right now. Let's see what else we got coming in from the Instagram. Yeah, no problem, Big Nate Husky. I appreciate you following us. Nehedu Joe Hodu. I apologize if I say that wrong again. As a bencher, is there any point in doing the squats, or is it just a waste of time? So with squats, if you're bench only, your squats very, very small role. I mean, leg drive obviously very important. So you want to have strong conditioned legs. I'd say even more importantly is the conditioning of your legs, because you can really fatigue quick if you're putting max effort force into your rep work. Um, so if you were just strictly if you're just benching and you don't want to really pursue training on the squat and the deadlift, what I would say is do more higher rep work than anything. You're just going to want to venture into the strength reps every now and then. Obviously getting the strength is very important too for hypertrophy work and getting the reps up, but you're going to want to stay in mostly higher reps, build that endurance, cut down on rest periods, and I would train some leg movements. Maybe it's not a squat. Maybe it's a variation. Maybe you do some Bulgarian split squats. Maybe you switch it up. Maybe do some goblet squats with a heel elevated. It's you can really break it down however you want. Whatever squat movements you like. You want to do a lot of sled pulls. You can do a lot of sled pulls. I wouldn't have to be as specific. Hey, you need to do. All right, we are out. We are out on Instagram, guys. Overheated. All right, we'll keep the show rolling. We'll keep the show rolling. That's unfortunate. That didn't take very long, did it? All right, well, hey, the phone's still kicking here, and we got a show to do. So we're going to keep it rolling. This phone, I'm surprised this phone didn't overheat. The damn iPad already conked out. Maybe it's Android versus Apple. I got a Galaxy 10, or Galaxy Note 8 actually right here. I got to upgrade soon, but maybe Android's the winner. They can take the heat. Apple had to get out of the kitchen, right? What do we got here? Alexander Perez, how it going, my friend? Hey, coach, those banded lat pulls are awesome. Very happy you put those in my programming. Yeah, I think you're speaking on the lying lat pullover hold there, and that's a really tough one. Um, that's great for learning that stability through your back versus anything, and developing strength there, because it's one thing to also know what to do, and then another thing to have the work capacity to do it for a prolonged period of time while you're benching. You think about how your back works during the bench press. It's going to be more of a static hold type position, which is why I like to do a lot of holding patterns, especially leading up to a max or a meet. Going to be a lot more holds in there, because I want to work the back very specific to how it's going to be used. Build the back strength, work capacity, hypertrophy, all that early on, and then let's get very specific with training our back how it needs to be for game day. So I'm glad you like those. I'm glad you're finding a benefit out of them. Matt, do you use the same bench setup when doing accessory work such as close grip, wide grip? Yeah, that was the other question you had. I had that down here. That's another great one. Um, do I use the same setup for different bench work? And he was explaining wide and close grip. So it's not really grip dependent. So I would, might or might not use the same setup for a closer wide grip. That's not really what's determining me doing a different setup. Usually, what's determining me doing a different setup is going to be if I'm doing feet up work, or really what the goal is. Feet up, wide grip work. 'Cause if I did wide grip work with a big arch, then I'm not going to move much. All right, so usually it's more of just how I'm trying to control the range of motion. So majority of my training, especially off season after a meet, is going to be a lot of feet up, closer grip stuff, much lighter arch. What we're getting at, a much lighter arch. So I don't always do a big competition arch. Try to spend a lot of time feet up, and that's helped me tremendously. I've seen it help a lot of our athletes tremendously. Adam Bell being one of them. He really benefits from the feet up stuff because he's so proficient at his arch and his technique that goes into his arch and his positioning, that he too gets so much out of that when you take it away, he's forced to build that raw strength. And then it's a nice transition when he can go back into his arching and all that. So um, that's when I would make the change on the setup. But in terms of it was the same kind of goal, I'm working maybe doing a 5 max or something, close grip or wide grip. It's still going to be a comp setup. So it's really what the goal is that determines the amount of setup per se, not necessarily if I'm going close or wide. Hope that answers that though. All right, and then we also had at Sir Bench a lot. That's Tony Carlino. He is a big bencher himself. He has a 905-pound bench, I believe is his recorded competition bench, and he is shooting for 1,000. And he said, "Give me a bigger arch in 2 weeks." And I assume that he means he has a meet coming up in 2 weeks, and he is looking for an arch advantage. Hey, bud, I can't give you a bigger arch, but I'm sure after this meet, you'll definitely be able to work on it. We had a great video about how to increase your arch, different T-spine mobility things you can do, and just prioritizing the setup and things like that. Everything to maximize your arch. And that was a recent video on YouTube, so you guys can check that out if you're interested in learning more about how to do the setup and arch. But I'm sure he's going to kill it at his meet. He's been crushing 1,000-pound benches left and right, and it's always a really good sign. I think he took it to a half board, 1,000 pounds. It's always a really good sign when you're getting that weight in your hands so frequently. And that's never been my style of training. My style of training, you see a lot of these guys, they're handling like thousands of pounds to go to competition, hitting 900, 800, 900, slowly progressing up there, but they're holding way more weight in training. I've always been the opposite of that for myself, at least, is that my training is mostly sub-max work. I mean, I remember going to hit the 820 The most I took over 700 pounds at tops 2 times in the last 16, 12 weeks or so. Um, 700, I think, in one go, and then I threw the shirt on and had this big comp session. Had everyone over, was grilling up burgers and stuff, and um, I smoked 700. Felt like I could have done 11 reps, and then I smoked 750. 800 felt light. It was only the third time I've had 800 in my hands, light to the boards. Going to the meet, best meet I've had. I went 750, 800, 820, and felt like I crushed them all. Um, so I've always been kind of the opposite there. I haven't had these big weights in my hands. The most I've had in my hands is about 920 pounds, 900 something pounds like that, with a lot of chain weight. Actually, that day I added about 80 more pounds of chain than I was supposed to have. Um, but took it for a ride. I almost felt I was gonna black out once I get that weight out, and I was wondering why it was so damn heavy. And then I realized I effed up my chain math. So yeah, I've always been. I'll go into the meet and I'll hit my biggest numbers. I never usually hit big numbers in training. Maybe I gotta start doing that more. What we got here? Trying to see with the sun. I think next time we're staying in the gym, guys, it's hard to see. No cue for lat tightness works for me, and my shoulder is taking all the tension. So Jeff, if you're having a hard time there with the back tightness, lat tightness, I'm sure you can develop it. It's just you might need to hear the right thing, or you might just need to be shown the right hands-on way. You're probably watching videos. You're probably frustrated because you know what's going on. You're just not able to replicate it yet, which I totally understand. And sometimes things come to us a little bit harder than others, and it just may be one of those things where nothing's really clicking yet. But perhaps if you were shown a different way, um, in person or something, that it might start to click. If no cue's working for you, there's no great thing that I can tell you there, um, other than build your back up as well, because when you're stronger via your back, you can utilize it more effectively. So that was something you just heard the story I was talking about. I went from a 730 bench to 820 bench in 90, or in that's a 90-pound gain in 5 months, and it was because I always used my back well, but I wasn't strong enough. I did not have a strong enough upper back. When I developed that upper back strength in general, I could hold that weight so much more efficiently, and that was a missing link. So it might just be that your missing link is you have to build up your upper back more, and it may not be with close grip type movements. It may be that you want to do like what I was doing, a lot of metal rows, a lot of dumbbell out, elbow out metal rows, a lot of like band, chest supported, high high rows, high pulls, upright rows, trap work, all that stuff. That might be the missing link for you, my friend. Also, your channel is so good, bro. I love your vids. I really appreciate that, my friend. Hopefully something clicks for you. I mean, I have a playlist. I don't know if you checked out the playlist. It's all about back tightness. I think I got the most vids in that. It's about 22 different vids in that playlist. All our best stuff on creating lat tightness. So something hopefully will click for you in there. But just keep grinding, my friend. I know sometimes it gets frustrating. You can't put these things together, but um, keep grinding along. It'll come along. Usually back strength will certainly help. All right, guys. So, hey, our Instagram conked out here. Guess it got too hot. Decided to stick. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's that Apple products for you guys. That's that Apple products. All right. Anyone with an iPhone, you guys switch over, guys. Matt says, "What do you think about Josh Bryant's methods and thoughts on benching?" Well, I've never had him as a coach. I don't know exactly what you would be encountering working with him. I know he's big on doing dead presses. He is big on uh, compensatory acceleration training. That's the term I took from him. I actually went to one of his seminars with the late great Fred Hatfield. I'm really glad that I was able to get down there for that before Fred Hatfield passed away. He's definitely a legend. First man to squat 1,000 And Josh Bryant did his presentation mostly on strongman training, using strongman training. But he obviously he's one of the more well-known. He's probably the top guy for bench pressing, hands down. And his content is definitely incredible. And I know he's big on dead pressing, compensatory acceleration training. I also took incline benching with a close grip, going partial range like a spoto press from him. But I don't know exactly his programming methods per se, so I can't really comment on that. But I've certainly learned a ton from him. Continue to watch his videos and apply a lot of the concepts he talks about. But obviously, speaks for himself. The guys that he works with, unbelievable strength on the bench. Um, and it's one of those things too. When you're the top guy, all the freaks want to come to you. So getting getting all the best people and just continue to make them stronger. That's an impressive thing too. So yeah, that's all I got to comment on his stuff. Unless there's a specific program I could take a look at and decipher for you guys. But anyways, got some more questions coming in, or we are going to be shutting down. I gotta check out these ribbies. I gotta spritz them up a little bit. They've been on there about probably 2 hours now. 2 hours. I think I'm gonna go 3 hours on them. Wrap them up. Throw them on another hour maybe. I gotta sauce up the ones on the left. Um, but they're gonna come out good, guys. They're gonna come out great. You can follow me at Big Ben's Backyard Barbecue. He seems to really like to do a lot more pec work. Hey, well, you know what? The thing is, if you're a bigger person, you're going to bench more. And hypertrophy work and accessories, highly underrated in my view. Um, highly underrated. Just being a bigger, stronger person. I mean, if you look at a bodybuilder, their potential to lift a shit ton on the bench is disproportionately higher than a little person. Bench is for big people. And you don't have to be a monster guy to bench big. I mean, you can max out. You want to just max out the muscle you have in the weight class you have. Another reason why I'm cutting down, just I want to max out more of my weight class. You know what I mean? You'd be more competitive that way. So hypertrophy training accessories, I think, where most people stall out. I usually ask them, they've been stalled on the bench. I ask them, what are they doing? A lot of bench answers, a lot of different, I'm doing this bench here, I'm doing this bench on a second day, but accessories come around and they're pretty non-existent. And if you're not getting accessory work in, you're not getting work in to build yourself up bigger, stronger, do that rep work, get the tricep work in, shoulders, chest. You mentioned chest hypertrophy is big on. That's all going to play a huge role. It's all going to play a huge role. So that's also like where some of that feet up stuff comes in. That's kind of the whole concept behind that, is because if you're so proficient, you get such an arc, you're cutting the range of motion all the time. You're not really building up your chest. You're not really building up your shoulders, triceps as much. You're getting more out of the leverage. So when you go to do the feet up work, maybe a closer grip, you're traveling so much further. You're not able to stay up on your traps as much. You don't have leg drive now. So it's a more of a lax position, and you can just feel how that affects the fatigue that you accumulate. And you feel it more in your chest. You get a chest pump, like how a bodybuilder would train. And I think there's something to be said, too, for training like a bodybuilder would for chest work, just trying to get a pump. And I'd say that has to happen after your main work majority of the time, because you still want to bench like a powerlifter. But there's a lot to be said for that. So I'm totally down with that stuff. All right, guys, we have any more cues coming in? That's all I got from Instagram. Simple espresso for the working man. All right, this is an experiment, guys. I mean, I'm out here by the smoker here, a little change of pace and being in the gym the whole time. Figure we'll do something a little bit different this Bench Talk Live, switch up our scenery. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this. Obviously, the iPad conked out of me, so I'm going to probably have to stay in the gym next time. I don't know how the audio quality is going to be. Obviously, some loud things going by here, but man, that smell over there, those pork spare ribbies, I tell you what, that's going to taste good. I'm surprising the boys tonight that are coming by to train. I'm going to get in some pressing work. I got the boys doing some deadlift work tonight, so I'm going to treat them to taste testing and these couple different ribs here, see what they think. Hope all your training is going good. Enjoy those ribs, Coach Ben, Robert Pauling. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, they're going to be good. Um, and you know what? Believe it or not, you've been following me on Facebook or anything. You've been seeing all this barbecue stuff I'm posting up. But, you know, hey, I've been able to drop some weight. I've been able to drop about, well over, like about 10 pounds now. About 10 pounds, slowly still dropping down. Um, Mostly because, you know, this stuff really packs a punch in calories. The fat, obviously the protein, the meat, but a lot of the fat. Um, but you know, when I'm eating this stuff, I don't have much sides or nothing. I'm not going crazy there. I'm not eating up a bunch of coleslaw and beans and stuff like that. Watching the carb intake. So you know, it just goes to show you. I mean, there's a lot of ways to diet down. I guess you could call it a carnivore type of diet, but you know, a lot of times, unless it's bench day on Fridays, that's I'm gonna load up that day. Chipotle, if not a couple of Chipotles. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you know, the barbecue stuff. As long as you watch your carb intake, not the end of the world. You know, obviously with the fat content being high, you don't want to eat it all the time, but you know, it's damn good. I tell you what. All right, guys. Anything else coming in here? Any other questions, topics you want to talk about? I'm all yours. Bench Talk Live. Bench Talk Live. I appreciate everyone joining in. You know, it means a lot to me that you take a little bit of time out of your day to join me live here and shoot the shit. And hopefully y'all got your coffees out, a sip of espresso for the working man. This is my Florida cup. Starbucks was doing that thing every city you visit. They have different cups. This is my Florida cup right here. Different Florida themed things. I have a San Fran cup. We went to San Fran. We did the Santa Cruz Bench Clinic. That was awesome. That was our biggest bench clinic turnout. That was over 20 people. It went fantastic. We all big, nice gym there. Um, you know, God bless them. I hope they're doing okay in these times. I don't think they're open yet, so um, you know, hope they're doing okay. They had a beautiful gym. We had plenty of stations to bench at. I'm gonna start getting busier here upcoming. I got a meet I'm setting up at in next month, July 18th. I have a meet I'm setting up at upstate New York. Um, Hell, maybe I'll bring my stuff down. Dave says, "Hey, you want a bench?" Maybe I'll throw my hat into the ring. But that's going on in July. I think I got one I might be competing at for sure, August 15th. You know, some meets are going to start picking up. We got some bench clinics on the horizon. Really excited for those once we can get that up and running. You know, gym's kind of got to get back on their feet, but then, you know, hopefully we can get those rolling again, get some more bench clinics on schedule. I'd really love to, you know, get out there and meet a lot of you in different areas. The hands-on work is incredibly beneficial. You know, our online coaching program, top notch. I think we do. I spend a lot of time, you know, putting effort into the unique programming, coaching our lifters through the video reviews and whatnot. But and nothing tops in person. I mean, you can get work with someone in person. Like forget his username there, but he was saying he had a hard time with lat tightness. You know, probably if I was working with someone in person, I could probably get them to feel what they need to feel, barring any type of mobility issues or something going on there. But in-person work, nothing really beats that. Stefan, what's up, my friend there? What kind of reps are you working with on OHP, and how often do you do it? All right, buddy. Email me, coachben@bigbenches.com. Okay, I have a overhead press program. I will send that out to you. Okay, so just message me, shoot me an email. Just be like, hey, Stefan from the podcast or whatever, and I'll talk about the OHP. I'll send that out to you. Um, I've been redefining it a little bit. So typically we're working in a 12-week cycle. Week one, the first phase, the first 4 weeks is all about a 5 rep max. That's the testing day. Next phase, 3 rep max. Next phase, 1 rep max. In the first phase, it starts off 5x5, 3x5 in week two. Then I've actually been going to either a pin press, usually a pin press on that first phase, or a push press. Okay, because the weight's been pretty moderate, we're going to kind of overload that week three and then come into the rep max, the 5 rep max. Phase two, we're going to do a 5x3, 3x3. Steadily progresses up in RPE, working a little heavier each week. That third week, push press, 3x3, overload. Week four, that's going to be our 3 rep max test day. Phase three is going to be a 5x1, 3x1, going to be a 10x3, very, very lightweight, less than 10 seconds between sets. Speed work, super lightweight, like 40% your overhead max, and it says a deload. And then, boom, we're going to go into the 1 rep max testing day. Okay, so that's kind of the quick rundown on it, but I will send that to you. All right, I will send that to you. Just shoot me an email. Anyone listening that wants that, just shoot me an email. All right, that's a free gift. But you're getting the overhead press up, tremendously beneficial, especially for a raw lifter. If we got one more, I'll take one more. But I gotta check these ribbies, so I'll check one more, guys. One more question. Anyone wants to shoot the shit, drop something down below. Yeah, you got it, my friend. Happy to help out. And that should help boost you up. Hey, most of the time, we just need something to run with. We know what to do, but we need someone to hold us accountable and something to work off of. And that's one of the huge benefits I found having a coach myself. Jamie Mata coaches me up in Fairhaven, Vermont. And he was there to help me the first time I got in a bench shirt. I was doing 315 over at his place. And yeah, he does my program and everything. He'll take a look at my videos and stuff. And it's just such a weight taken off your back. I don't have to worry about it, because I have enough on my plate helping out my lifters that, I to switch gears and think about what I need and to get that all sorted out. It's just a lot of extra work. And it's nice to not have to worry about it. Usually your own worst programmer sometimes, you get the writer's block in your head. There's so many things you could potentially do, but having that neutral third eye to just say, hey, this is what's going on. Let's hit this, and it's just a load off your back. So I can't even begin to describe how beneficial that's been to me. And, having that overhead press program certainly will help. If you want to apply to our coaching program, the link is in the description of the YouTube we're watching. Instagram conked out, but it's in the bio there too. And then, of course, the website will have the link as well to reach out about coaching. And I just did a podcast the other day about our intake form and all the questions I want to know about our lifters, all the questions I asked to get a feel for where our lifters are coming into the program. And it's free to have that back and forth, to see how I'm going to approach getting you to where you want to be, and me knowing your goals and things like that. So I always encourage everyone, the program, maybe our coaching program is not for everyone, but it's worth just throwing in throwing the intake form there, and let's have a chat about how we can get you stronger. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to shut this down. I got to get these pork ribs spritzed up here. I got half whiskey, half water. It's going to be tasting good today. You can check out Big Ben's Backyard Barbecue if you want to see how these turned out. Just got a new camera. Fill you guys in. I'm going to be trying to get some more training stuff uploaded, some more training content. So I'm actually going to try to film majority of a lot of the stuff that we're doing in here. Quite a few of the lifters, the local lifters that I coach come in here. And, we're doing some different stuff, and I want to fill you guys in on what we're doing. The training sessions are like, what I'm doing in my bench training, compile it all into one video and stuff. So I did get us a camera since You know, the man behind the camera, Elvis, there, he's not always with us, so I wanted to have the ability to still get good content filmed for you guys. So I got that camera, and yeah, I'm really pumped to get some content filmed. We'll get that up on the YouTube. I know you guys enjoy the training footage. Peace out, Stefan. Hope you have a good one as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to shut down here. Getting hot, sweating. I got a major sunburn from the other day. You know, figured what's a little extra sun? I'm already kind of ruined anyway. So, hope y'all have a great day. Hope y'all have a great day, and I really appreciate y'all tuning in and listen to the podcast. Make sure you check out those Thursday episodes. Man, those Thursday episodes fire. And I usually try to keep them much shorter. The last one kind of went a little longer, about 25 minutes, but they're usually running about 15 to 18 minutes. So it's a nice quick clip of some great information, those Thursday episodes. So if you haven't been subscribed to the Benchcast, guys, please subscribe to the Benchcast. Great content there. And I know you're going to enjoy it. I know it's going to be beneficial. So please check out those Thursday episodes. I really appreciate it. One more look at that pit bossy out there. Yeah, the pellets haven't hit yet, so not much smoke going on, but oh, here we go. Getting a little smoke cloud going. Those pellets are hitting. You can see over there coming out the tube. But there's gonna be some good pork spare ribs. Since it's only YouTube, hey, I'll give you guys a sneak peek of what we're looking at here. We're gonna get some good crop developing, huh? Let's take a look. Take a look here. Whew. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at these babies. Not sure how good your view was. A little bit of sun, but they're looking good. All right, guys. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and I will see you next time.